For more on all of this, we are joined by CBS News senior national security analyst Juan Zarate, who is in our Washington bureau. Juan, good morning.
Good morning, Vanita.
How credible are these claims right now?
Well, I think that we should view with skepticism the specifics of what ISIS is claiming, that the female hostage was killed and nobody else in the ISIS universe was harmed. I think that really is not very credible. What we do have to take seriously, though, is their threats to her life. Obviously, this is a group that has threatened hostages and lives in the past and has gone through with those threats. And so though we pray for her life, it's very serious that they're claiming she's dead, regardless of the circumstances. But clearly they're trying to sow confusion here and use the fact that they have this American hostage to try to blunt the rage and the reaction from Jordan.
One, to what degree do you think they're trying to create tension between the U.S. and Jordan? They partnered the Japanese hostage situation with the Jordanian hostage before. What effect do you think this will have?
Anthony, I think what ISIS has been trying to do is to use their hostages as strategic pawns to try to inject confusion and to affect the decision-making of the coalition and to create tension and fractures in that coalition. And so you saw that, as you said, between Tokyo and Amman with those hostage situations. Now they're trying to create a bit of tension between the U.S. and Jordan. I don't think it's going to create that tension. U.S. and Jordanian interests are aligned. And certainly what ISIS will continue to try to do is to sow confusion and to use the hostages to great propaganda value and advantage. But I don't think it's really going to work in this case between Jordan and the U.S.
Juan, give us a sense of the politics behind all of this, because Republicans have been very vocal saying the president has not been aggressive enough in responding to ISIS. But do you get the sense that he has a strategy in not responding to each individual claim?
Vanita, I think the White House doesn't want to have the president out there at each and every moment. First of all, you don't want the president out as the fact witness before you have all the information. And certainly the White House doesn't have information about the proof of life for Kayla. In addition, they also don't want the president having to whipsaw and react to everything that ISIS does. This is the American president, after all. And so I agree with the White House in not putting the president out every time ISIS does something. On the other hand, there is a broader question as to whether or not we have a strategy to actually defeat this group. And that criticism is beginning to gain momentum, certainly here in Washington.
Well, this, as you mentioned, Juan, this came on the heels of the president rolling out his national security strategy. I mean, is it targeted in the right direction, do you think? I mean, what is the biggest challenge to our national security at this point?
Anthony, I think it's the fact that we have so many challenges at once at a time in history where the U.S. still remains the global superpower, but perhaps doesn't have the means or the will to deal with all of these issues around the world. We certainly can't be the world's policeman and deal with all the problems around the world, yet we can't ignore them either. And so whether it's the rise of China, Russian aggression, cybercrime, the threat of ISIS and terrorism, we have to deal with it all. The challenge is, how do we do that, and how do we do that within our means?
Juan Zarate in Washington this morning. Thank you, Juan.